Hello world, and it is Kirby, Kinetic Kirby here, and we are doing today blah 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 a mod spotlight on Mekanism. So you want to get started with Mekanism, but you don't know how. Well, this is how you do it. First things first, you find some of this osmium ore. Now the osmium ore it spawns anywhere from like where iron starts spawning all the way down to bedrock. Pretty much, you can find this stuff all over the place, and it's kind of common, but not too common. Maybe just as common as iron. But what you do is you just you do what you do, and you break it, and you get yourself some iron. Yourself some osmium. Boom, got it. Got 16 right here. Boom, best. All right, now you could, in theory, go ahead and smelt it in a normal vanilla furnace. You could. That would definitely be a thing you could do. Or you could use the energized smelter. But there's a problem. In the recipe of the energized smelter, which there's a bunch of different stuff, it's mostly redstone, glass, and then these control circuits, which I'll get to in a minute. And then steel casings. This is the key here. Steel casings. It requires steel. The thing is, if you don't have any other mods installed, you need steel. Therefore, to make the steel, you need to make one of these guys, a metallurgic infuser. You place it down. It has this little interesting thing. And then the recipe for it, let me get it up, because I forgot to show you, because I'm an idiot. Let's see. Alright, it takes 2 furnaces, 2 redstone, an osmium ingot, which you already have smelted, and 4 iron. And that will give you your metallurgic infuser. So, you can go ahead and throw coal in this slot. And what it'll do is it'll fill up an internal buffer. And then you can throw iron in here. But there's a problem. We don't have any energy. So, what we can do is we'll grab a few more bits of coal, and we can throw down a heat generator. And the heat generator, I believe it just makes stuff. It's like the most basic coal generator of them all. You can do that. You can throw that down, and what it'll do is you'll throw it down, and when you throw it down, you'll throw like coal in here, and it'll build up lava. And it'll generate RF, which it'll say it's joules sometimes, but it can also say in the config RF. Now, what you can do now is you can run power to it. If I need a wrench or a hammer, so we'll just go get a hammer, a crescent hammer. There we go. See if we can turn this bad boy around. Also, daytime, please. Thank you. All right, and then what you can do is you can get. Do I not have any? Really? Universal cable. You can get some universal cable. And all it takes to make this is some steel and some orange and some redstone. That does seem like a problem though. Because you can't make it without that. I'll have to check up on that. But you can, now we have power, and what it'll do is it'll show this little light. And this is just the basic stuff. So this little basic stuff, it'll glow green, and you'll see it has power in this buffer right here. And you'll see it's making enriched iron. That's the first step into making the steel. Now, to make 1 stack of iron into 1 stack of steel, it requires 2 stacks of coal. So we'll go ahead and throw this down in there. And it will get this right here. So we just got to wait for that to smelt up. While we're doing that, I'm going to show you some other ways you can generate power. You can build a wind turbine, which, let's pick it up. Let's throw it down on the pipeline right here. Boom, and now it's recording power. The main thing that you have to make sure of with both of these machines is that this little block right here for this one is facing on this, or it won't connect. And then you have to make sure for these wind turbines, which look pretty cool, you have to make sure this green spot is on the wire. So you'll just right click it and boom, it's there. If you wanted to go solar, you could do solar as well. So You have the solar generator as well. Boom, got it. Now, I think you had to actually place this on top of it. Yeah, you had to place it on top of the pipe. So that's like the most basic. It doesn't generate all that much power. If you wanted to get real into it, we'll run out some cables like that, and it takes a 4x4 area, I believe. No, wait. 3x3 area. Okay. It looks like 4x4. Now, if you'll run this to this little spot right here, you get more power. Oh my gosh, so many ways to generate power. Now, how do you make these things? All right. So, for the wind turbine, get into that. Let's check it. It takes 3 osmium, a basic control circuit, an energy tablet, 2 energy tablets, which are 3 gold, 4 redstone, 2 enriched alloy. And enriched alloy and basic control circuits, they're really simple. All you have to do is throw some redstone in the metallurgic infuser with some iron, and that gives you enriched alloy, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's 1 redstone and 1 iron. Now, if you want to make the basic control circuits, you do the same thing with redstone, except for you throw osmium in there and you get the control circuits. So that's pretty cool and pretty nifty, I'd say. And now that we have our power generating, and this is not the most efficient way to generate power, I'd go ahead and go with these, because it's basically free power. Now, with the wind turbine, it generates power based on the level you're at. So right now I'm at Y level 4. So I'm not generating all that much power. Like, I think I'm generating like 6 RF a tick. So, or something like that. Maybe 10. Now, if we were to go way up there in the sky, like way up there, 128 or something, it would be generating so much more power. Same thing with these guys, I think. Yeah. Same thing with them. But since we're so low on the Y scale, it's not going to generate all that much power. Now, this should be good to get us some enriched iron. So you throw that enriched iron back in there with some coal, which it calls it carbon. And cool thing about it is, if you see that 1,000, that means there's 100 coal, because 1 coal gives you 10 carbon. So that's 99. So we have 99 carbon, and that'll get you this steel dust. Now, this is the good stuff. This stuff right here, this is what you do, and you throw it. You go ahead and you throw it into a furnace, or if you already have the energized smelter, you can go ahead and throw it in there. Boom, and it'll start smelting up. Now you're saying, "Whoa, these are kind of slow. How can I speed this up?" Well, Mekanism has that too. It's little. It's pretty cheap actually. It's not all that expensive, but it does increase the power requirement. Speed. So you can go ahead and there they are. Okay, we'll go ahead and grab that, and no. So you get the speed upgrades, and then there's these things called energy upgrades. Now, let's do that. Okay, so if you check the recipe on it, it's 2 enriched alloy and some osmium dust, which you can get from pulverizing up some osmium. Either that, or you can use, and then the the energy upgrade is the same thing: 2 glass, 2 enriched alloy, and then some gold dust. And if you only have Mekanism in daytime, then the way you would do that to make some of these speed things is you would get a crusher. Now, a crusher is it's kind of like the pulverizer, but not really, because it's more like it crushes already processed ingots. So it doesn't give you this from ore. So you throw this in there, and I can go ahead and throw iron in there, and you'll hear the little sound, and it will do that, which is pretty nifty. I don't want it right here actually, and it keeps its inventory and its energy whenever you break it, which is really cool. Now, this interface, it's pretty nifty. So while it's making that, what we could do is we can set the side configs, which you'll go over here, and you'll set the side configs, and each input slot, each color represents a slot. So the red represents this slot, purple this one, the dark blue one, and this one is the energy slot. Now, let's say you want to output the dark blue into here. Well, you'll just turn this one off just to make sure. And you can also set the top to be dark red so you can input enriched iron or whatever you want into the top. Thing is, though, you're going to have two sides. So one side's going to have to be set for this one side's going to have to be set for this one. You can't set one side to both. Unfortunately, I don't think that's possible. Now let's say, so we want this right here to go into here. Well, all we have to do is set this side config to have the input, which is red, dark red, to be there. So if we were to set this right here and then turn on this auto eject button right here, it would automatically input into this side. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and throw more iron in there, I guess, whichever. Now, about these guys, if you go ahead and throw, you see it's using 50 joules right now, take some upgrades, and you throw in all the speed upgrades, which I think 8 is the max, unless you have other mods installed, I believe. So, if we go ahead and install all 8 of these, it will use 5 kilojoules, so it multiplied by 1,000. So, but if you want to make it a little bit better on yourself and you want it the fastest it'll go, you'll go ahead and throw these energy upgrades in there, and it will lower the speed. It will lower the energy cost. So, let's go ahead and let these guys go through. Boom, boom, come on. Now you'll see it's only using 500, so it's only using 500 times, no, not 500 times, 10 times the amount instead of 100 times the amount, I believe. Yeah. So that is pretty cool. And you can also, if you don't really care about the speed and you just want really efficient things, you can go ahead and click this button. I think. What? And you can click this button right here, and you'll take it out. And now it'll still run it'll run the speed that it was earlier, but it will use a lot less joules, a lot less energy. So we're going to go ahead and throw all those back onto there. Now, next thing's next. You want to have some type of flight. Of course. That'd be cool. And what if you could do it using hydrogen? That would be even cooler. Well, Mekanism has that too. So, what we can get is one of these electrolytic separators. Now, we're going to go ahead and run some wire because we're going to need to run some other stuff too. So, electrolytic separators. What this will do is it'll take a liquid and split it into 2 gases. Now, the gases correspond to each side. So, this tank right here is one, this tank is the other. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw some more coal into there. And, what else can we make? Is this generating any power? Yes, it is. It should be generating plenty. Yeah. So, it's going to use a lot of power. A lot of power. But, it'll work. Okay. So, what we need is we need some water. We'll go ahead and get some water buckets. And we'll go ahead and throw them in here. So you just shift click them in there, and they'll get you some water. Now what you'll see is those tanks start filling up. Hydrogen and oxygen, because that's what water is made out of. And then you just use the pressurized tubes, which I'm just going to use the basic ones, but there's these other ones. The pressurized tubes, they're made with glass and steel. So it's pretty simple. So you go ahead and just throw these down. This one will fill up with hydrogen. This one won't fill up at all. And then these two, this one should fill up with oxygen. Now, there's these side things right here. So if one of these tanks fills up, it will stop working completely. No working at all. None. Okay. So, what you can do is you can set it to idle, so you can just set it to stop. You can set it to dump, so it'll start dumping that one and leaving this one. Or you can set it to dump excess, which means once this tank fills up, it'll dump any excess so that both of them it'll keep working. Or I'm just going to set it to idle, though. And what you can do is you can get some gas tanks, which they're pretty easy to make. Let's go ahead and grab 4 of them. Now, you take these gas tanks, it's 8 osmium, and then 1 pulverized iron, which you can make in this thing like we have right here. So, you go ahead and just set them on top, because I believe they have to be set to the top or the bottom. Now, we'll go ahead and throw these guys down. So these guys are now filling up with oxygen. This is the only way you can control the gas, like contain the gas. This is the main thing for it. So you now want to fly. Since you have this hydrogen, you want to fly. So what you can use is the jetpack. Jetpack is pretty cool. It just requires a gas tank, a basic control circuit, 2 steel ingots, and 10 from any mod. So what you'll do is you'll take this and you'll throw it into here. Boom. Oh, see, and then it'll start filling up. And then when it has enough, so we'll just let it run for a little while, and you'll see that this one also has the dump function as well as that, just like this. Now it's running out of water quickly, so you'll want to hook that up. Now I believe the only way you can hook it up, maybe it'd be the top or the back. So we got to figure out a way to do that. Let me check. Well, we're just going to use an aqueous accumulator from thermal expansion. Go ahead and throw those down. Now, water. Okay. Boom. Boom. Got it. Done. Now, if you want to, you can run water with... Mekanism has pipes for water as well. So, these are the mechanical pipes. They transfer fluids. And the basic mechanical pipe right here requires steel and a bucket. It's a little weird of a recipe, I agree, but it should work. So now you should see... Oh. Okay. It's filling up with water. Boom, got it. Now we have water going into it, and it's automatic. Don't have to worry about it. You can just set it and leave it. Forget about it. Now, you'll see that we have some hydrogen stored in here. So, what you can do is you can go ahead and put it on here. And you'll have to check in your configs, in your control configs, because the button's normally M, but I have it changed. And then what you'll do is you can just push that button, and it'll set you to hover. You can disable it. Or you can also just have it regular, so whenever you jump, you'll fly up. Now, you will take fall damage, but there is a way you can actually prevent that, which you'll want the free runners. They're pretty nifty. Oh, yeah. But they just require 2 enriched alloy, 2 basic control circuits, and 2 energy tablets. Kind of like in a mega boot-like thing. Now, you click these in. But you see that they don't have any power. So, you'll have to find a way to charge up the power. So, you'll need I believe this will work. I'm actually not too sure. I've never tried this, but I believe this should work. I've always messed with other ones. You just should need a basic energy cube, I believe. So, you just hook that on right here, and you'll see it's gaining power. Now, the big thing with these energy cubes is make sure that you don't put it on this side. This is the output side of the energy cube. So wherever you want it to output power, you just throw it down right there. Now, the recipe for these things are a steel casing, iron, 4 redstone, and 2 energy tablets, which is pretty easy, pretty simple. And then they just get more complex as they go. And each one of them uses the one before. So I believe what I can do is I can grab my free runners, and then just throw them down in this plus sign right here, and boom, we have power in the free runners. Now what they do is I believe they let you jump a little bit higher. Also, they let you walk over 1 block spaces, so you don't have to jump uphill, like little 1 block spaces, which is, I'd have to say, pretty cool. And you don't take fall damage. So let's turn our thing on. They absorb all fall damage in the form of energy. Okay, so So you have this energized smelter, but it only gives you 1 ingot per ore. It's just like a normal furnace. It's not like anything special. So what do you want? What does Mekanism offer for that? Well, you'll need the... oh, that is a tricky one. I can't ever remember its name. Let's see. Now, you'll need the enrichment chamber, which the enrichment chamber is pretty simple. It's just steel casing, 2 basic control circuits, 2 iron, and 4 redstone. So you'll be using a lot of steel, a lot of iron, and a lot of redstone. So you'll just pop it up here, and we'll go ahead and run power. If I can not fly. There we go. Now. Alright. So we'll go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll set the output slot to be this one. The input slots, that's fine, and we'll make sure to auto-eject into the energized smelter. Make sure that this one is set for input dark red, because you can have multiple sides being the same thing, and they'll both accept them. So we'll just go ahead and grab some ore. Doesn't matter which. We already have ore, actually. We'll go ahead and throw in our osmium ore. And what that'll do, once it gets some power... Oh, it might help if I use the right tube. So, another cool thing about these universal cables is they will transmit any type of power ever. They will just convert it themselves, which is pretty nifty. So, we'll see that it throws the osmium dust down there. Boom, got it. And you can also set this to output a chest, so you can just have an automatic way to do it. So, what's next? Let's think. Seriously. I believe that is most of the basics. Now, there is some more stuff, like, I can show you a few more things, but I won't really go into detail just yet. Now, with all of these blocks, except for the special look, like these 2 blocks and this block, what Mekanism is really cool about is you can have factories. So, if you go over here, what this does is it's essentially elite enriching factory. So what this is an enrichment chamber, but it is a factory version. So what it does is this gives you 7 slots. This gives you 7 different types of inventory, so it can process 7. Now, there are lower tier ones. So, this one is made out of the advanced, which can do 5. And some other stuff. This one is made out of the basic one, which can do 3. And this one is made out of the enrichment chamber itself. So, it just takes some basic control circuits, and then what you'll do is you'll use it, and you'll get some enriched alloy and some advanced control circuits, which they're pretty simple. They just take enriched alloy, basic control circuits, and that gives you that. Now, to make the next tier, it takes some elite control circuits and some reinforced alloy. Now, elite control circuits are these reinforced alloy, 2 together, and then the advanced control circuit. And this right here, enriched alloy, it's mixed with enriched alloy and diamond dust. Which diamond dust you can't get from the enrichment chamber, but you can get from the crusher. So if we just got a diamond real quick, and threw it in here, you'll see it starts breaking it down. Then you throw it in there just like any other dust in the metallurgic infuser, which you'll probably need a few of these. Probably need quite a few of these if you want to get anything done, because there's a lot of recipes with them. Now, let's see, just to make sure there's nothing else on the factory list. Oh, okay. And then okay, yep, that's it. Okay, so it's pretty cool. I really like this mod. It's become one of my favorites, and I can't play without it anymore. And I really enjoy whoever made this mod. I love you. And there's other ways that you can do it. You can actually go up to 5 times ore with the enrichment chambers, but those would take an entire another episode, another spotlight and tutorial episode to make. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything that you want me to go over in more depth, let me know in the comments below, And I'm going to try to leave links to the different parts of the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for the view, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.